most famous physical therapist on the internet.
Hi folks, I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical therapist.
Together we are the most famous physical therapists on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
Today we're going to show you some easy exercises to help hemorrhoids. Yes, believe it. This helps hemorrhoids. And I'm going to actually sacrifice myself here, Brad, because I'm going to admit that I had hemorrhoids, and this has helped my hemorrhoids.
Say no more, Bob.
Right.
You're out of the closet.
All right. No, not closet.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Bob,
okay.
I don't know.
By the way, if you're new to our channel, please take a second to subscribe to us. We provide videos how to stay healthy, fit, pain-free, and we upload every day. Also, go to bobbrad.com. Go to the giveaway section. If you want to, we're always giving something away. Go to the giveaway section. This week, we're giving away a FitGlide. We'll show you just in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
If you go to Facebook, it'll be pinned to the top of the page, the contest. Go to Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok if you want a 60-second version of our program. And as you might already know, this is a podcast and a video.
Yeah, because this is going to be a podcast.
Yes,
absolutely. Should we look at the FitGlide, our giveaway?
Yeah. Well, he'll describe it, Brad, to you, right?
Oh, you want me to?
I'll describe it on the video for the podcast.
Sure, exactly.
So on the podcast, what we have here is a device that you can use in a seated position or lying down, and you actually can glide your feet back and forth. Again, you could be in bed doing this, or you can be seated. It's great for knees and hips, and it's also it has a stand where you can raise up the front part of the stand and work quads more. You can raise up the stand in the back, and it works hamstrings more.
Yeah, if you're on podcast, just Google Bob and Brad FitGlide, and you'll find you'll see pictures on how to use it.
Now, I'm just going to warn you right away. The language is going to be a little bit graphic at times on here. Not we're not using blasphemy.
No.
We're just using descriptive words. So we're going to be talking about the genitalia and stuff like that.
It's all professional.
It's all professional. Yep. So what we're talking about here is Kegels exercises. Now, or you say Kegel.
Well, we should probably Google that and see what the correct
Sure.
pronunciation. So it's Dr. Kegel.
Arnold Kegel.
Yeah.
He invented this in the 50s, and it was really done mostly for urinary incontinence. But I saw a bunch of articles, Brad, that can help hemorrhoids. It gets more blood flow to the area.
Oh, sure.
But in my case, again, with a little graphic here, but it firms things up so things don't droop as much
around the anus.
Well, it is because you're strengthening the muscle of the pelvic floor.
Sure.
And the pelvic floor is made up of a superficial level and a deep level. But when you do this exercise, you're strengthening both levels.
Sure. And the pelvic floor, they're kind of like, I envision them kind of like
a diaphragm,
flat, like a pancake or diaphragm, and it literally is the pelvis floor that keeps things supported, so your visceral organs
exactly.
Stay where they
It's
need
like
to
a
be.
netting down there, and it's horizontal, just like the diaphragm is.
Sure.
So, in fact, I think it's called. There's a name where they call it something like the diaphragm,
the bottom diaphragm.
Yeah, something like that. Seriously,
inferior diaphragm.
Yeah. Well, if not, we just made that up. So. If you want to strengthen these, we're going to give you hints on how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
What you're going to feel is like a gentle gathering of the pelvic floor muscles. You're going to contract and lift them up. You should feel like you're including the anal sphincter, like that should be moving up. With ladies, you and men too. And in fact, we're going to talk about this later. You want to feel like the perineal body is lifting up. The perineal body. What is it, Brad? Do you want me to tell?
Yeah, go ahead.
It's the area between the anus and the vagina for women, and the anus and the scrotum for men.
Right.
So it's really, should talk to it later how you can actually palpate that.
Sure.
And feel it moving up. So
I'm assuming this is preferred in the seated position.
You could do it lying down.
Mm-hmm.
You could do it seated. In fact, it's a good thing to progress. Like start lying down.
Sure.
Then you could even do it in a quadruped position.
On your hands and
knees.
Yep.
You could do it in a seated position, and then you should do it standing. The whole thing with this, you should continue to breathe normally while you're doing this. People should not be able to tell that you're doing this. You could, Brad and I could be doing it right now, and you'd have no idea. That's how
assuming
subtle
you've
it is.
practiced it.
You practice and you know what you're doing.
Right.
So, with men, you may actually feel the base of your penis lift up and possibly your testicles as well. We'll get into all the cueing that goes on. What you shouldn't feel is you shouldn't feel other muscles contracted, like the
You
glutes
should or you should not.
should not.
Okay.
They should not. You're trying to focus on the pelvic floor. You shouldn't feel the inner thigh. You
Mhm.
shouldn't feel the abdominal muscles
All right.
contract.
So if you're doing,
Yeah, if you're
that
going
kind
like
of thing.
that, and I've seen some other channels where they were actually promoting that kind of
Yeah.
like, and I was like, I don't think that's
That-
right.
That's not along with this.
Kegels.
You
Yeah.
came out of a book, or you said
Yeah, I
you
had a
two
book.
books?
I've read a couple of books on it. So,
Sure.
don't hold your breath. You should be able to talk. Don't tense anything up in your face, either your eyebrows or your shoulders.
Sure.
Yeah,
It-
biceps.
It's just one of those things on isolating. I mean, we do this with people with your abdominal muscles, try to isolate that because, or pelvic position. A lot of these areas of the body are very difficult, or it's just not a normal thing. It's not like moving a finger,
Yeah, I think that's a good point to be made, Brad. You can voluntarily control the pelvic floor muscles,
Sure.
but it has also got an automatic component to it.
Right.
It's going to automatically work at times when you're lifting or carrying something, or
Right. I compare it to your breathing muscles. I mean, you can
Yep.
voluntarily control your diaphragm when you're breathing,
Good
but at the
point.
same time, you don't have to think about it, and you continue.
It's going
to
to keep
breathe.
going,
Right.
hopefully, thankfully.
Yeah.
So these are the common cues, and this is probably the most important part of this. Is for women, you're going to squeeze and lift the pelvic floor. They tell you want to tighten up like you would like to stop the stream of urine,
Right.
but they don't want you doing that. They don't want you to start going in and
not
stopping.
literally.
Not literally,
Right.
because you could develop a urinary tract infection, and
Mhm.
it can mess with your reflexes, I guess, a little bit, your
Okay.
urinary reflexes. So yeah, you want the feeling like you're stopping urine, but not actually doing it. And another cue is you can make it feel like you're lifting and holding something in your vagina.
Mhm.
You can also squeeze like you're trying to hold in gas, which Brad and I know quite well. So it's like, you're afraid to let one go.
Yeah.
You're among company, so
Yeah.
you tighten up and
Flatulence, Bob.
flatulence. There you go.
I got to put some professionalism in there.
That's right. So the other thing you do, and you can't see this on the podcast, but you can actually take your sit bones. That's the bones that you're sitting on. You can feel right when you palpate underneath there,
Or if you're sitting on a hard surface,
like bleachers.
yeah, and you rock back and forth, you'll feel those bones are.
Yeah,
making
now those sit
contact.
bones, what you want to feel is like you're pulling them together. That also
Okay.
helps raise it up. So now this is interesting, Brad. They only had one cue for men, and they did a study on this, and they had a whole bunch of cues for men, but the one that worked was
Mhm.
this one. So you're supposed to shorten your penis.
Bring it in like a turtle.
There you go,
Wow.
like a scared turtle.
Yeah, I think most guys could.
Yeah.
relate.
So if it's funny, men really seem to latch on to that, and it worked for me. So
So that the whole idea is we're contracting those muscles, and you said it's going to increase blood flow for the hemorrhoid. And
the
that's
hemorrhoids, so they can heal better.
Right, and we know that.
The other thing, especially a lot of people with hemorrhoids, they sit on the toilet too long. Do you know what I mean? And everything starts to get slack. This is year after year. Do you know what I
Oh.
mean?
Hmm.
And
So you shouldn't be reading
you
looking at
shouldn't
your
be-
cell phone.
You really shouldn't. You
Yeah.
really shouldn't.
Get on there, get your business done, and go.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
Mhm.
And otherwise you're stretching things out. You're
Sure.
letting things sag, and so this helps tightening things up here. So what are you laughing about now? So we're trying to keep this a
I
serious subject
know.
because hemorrhoids are an issue.
Oh, right.
I mean-
I've never had them, so
Well, I had them, and
yeah.
it's not fun. Let me tell you. So
But, this is one of those things that there are therapists who've taken courses on this and become certified, and they have actually some tools that are specifically
yeah,
made
feedback
for this.
tools. So
Right.
if you are having trouble, seek out a therapist that has expertise in this area.
Right,
Some of the larger hospitals that generally have
right,
someone
exactly.
dedicated to
But
it.
I think what we're doing here, I think for certain
Oh,
people, it's gonna.
my wife picked up right on it.
Yeah.
She was able to do it right away. In fact, she hardly even listened to me. I think she was doing it. So, but this is how you can actually feel it, Brad. If you want to try to feel it,
Sure.
you can actually take a piece of toilet paper, small little piece, and put it by your anal sphincter.
Mhm.
Do the exercise, and it actually kind of picks it up a little bit. So, I mean, you got to put your finger on the anal sphincter.
Sure.
So,
Oh, yeah.
So, all right, Brad, keep serious here now. Next one, the perineal body, which we already recommended. I think this is the best cue of all, Brad. So again, the perineal body, it's the area between the anus and the vagina or the anus and the scrotum.
Mm-hmm.
Put your hands there. You obviously do this in private. You could be lying on your back.
Mm-hmm.
You put your hands there for feedback, and if you're doing it right, you're just going to feel it gently lift
Feel
a
some
little
motion going
Yep.
inward.
up.
Mhm.
Yep. Yep. So
I can see where lying down would be a good place to start that.
right.
Um,
And men, one more one, you might actually see the penis lift up a little bit when you're doing this, if you're doing it right. So
not if you got your pants on.
not if you got your pants on. No, you'd have to check it out. One of those things where and don't send us any phone videos of this stuff. So, all right. So repetitions. You start off probably like 8 to 12 reps. You're gonna hold it for 10 seconds.
Well, that is a long hold. That's work.
Well,
I mean, especially to get started.
yeah. And you go like
But that's what they recommend.
It's not really hard
Okay.
to hold it.
Yeah.
I didn't think so. You can do that 3 times a day. Yeah, eventually, they said you want to work up to like 100 reps in a day.
So
And
how
could-
many reps? So hold it for 10 and do it 10 times,
yeah,
and do that
eventually
10 times. then.
over the day.
Yeah,
You know.
right.
And the other thing is it is a fast twitch and a slow twitch muscle. So you can do the hold one that's a slow twitch.
Mhm.
But if you want to do fast twitch, you can actually tighten and then relax, tighten, relax, just for a second.
So did he give any statistics on people who do this on success rate? Because I mean, you don't have to do this for the rest of your life, do you?
No, but for women and incontinence, and for men in incontinence, you might have to do it the rest of your life. It's not like it's a big burden, Brad.
Sure. Once you get used to it, but I mean, 100 times a day, or do you get to
Yeah,
relax off, or you go as symptoms?
yeah, I don't
predicate?
know on that, but I find it can be very helpful with urinary incontinence. I
Sure.
mean, it can be the difference between you having trouble and not having trouble.
Right,
I mean,
right.
there's definitely been. There's a reason it's been around since the 50s. I mean, it works.
Right.
And so give it a try.
All right. Good
Thanks
luck.
everybody for watching.